Ahoy! Here I am, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the BBC Spews Live. It is the 26th of December, and it's Boxing Day. And I'm away, I've been away for over a fortnight, I think, judging by the amount of people were complaining at me in the chat. I apologise, but I went back to Middlesbrough. Also, before anybody calls me a scruffy twat, I am well aware I definitely need a haircut. However, if you get your haircut in Middlesbrough, doesn't matter what you tell them, doesn't matter what you say, you get scruffy chav MMA, fold them up like a deck chair for pleasure on Linthorpe Road every weekend. Hairdos, yeah, looks like they've been done with a broken bottle in a dimly lit shed. So that's why I had to wait till I come home. I'll get my haircut tomorrow, all right? Don't be telling me off. I'm sick of getting bollocked about my appearance. It's almost like I've got, a bunch of bronzed Adonises following this channel. The amount of blokes who gob off at me when I let my grooming go slightly askew. Like everyone watching this channel's a heartthrob. I suspect that's not the case. I do. I suspect that's not the case. I suspect Sean Bush here isn't a bronze love machine with an arse like a fiddler's elbow. And a cock like a baby's arm grasping a tangerine. I reckon he isn't, but by the amount of critiques I get for my appearance, I'm assuming everyone looks like an FHM cover model. Anyway, Sean, welcome back. How you doing? Nice to see everyone in the chat. Who else is in? Rickster, all right. Happy Christmas. Matt N7, now then, Stew's in as well. Spindly Killer, all right. How are you? Who's this? Matt said he's had home degenerated into a full-blown Allen's. It has, yeah, definitely. Middlesbrough was unbelievable. So I'll start there. Middlesbrough. Unbelievable. We walked up Linthorpe Road. It's a main drag in the borough from the train station to the top end of town where, out in the burbs where my family and my friends live. And it was honestly, in fact, I looked for the tweet. There's people having a go at me when I mentioned it. It was unbelievable. And the amount of people who attacked me for it, I was like, the talent for self-delusion that the people on the walkies have genuinely astounds me. Like, every single topic that comes up, they contradict themselves and blatantly lie. It astounds me. Every single topic. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. It doesn't matter what you're talking about, like healthcare or economics or immigration or green bollocks or gun control or euthanasia, abortion. It literally doesn't matter what the subject is. They manage to be staggeringly hypocritical. Like I said, it's the glaring, unending hypocrisy of the far left that has turned everybody and former liberals like me into reluctant conservatives en masse, because hypocrisy is a detestable trait. Like, everybody hates it. Everybody hates it. When you get the Bible thumping Baptist going on about how much he hates, he's at the Bible thumping Baptist, like, oh yeah, all the queers are going to hell, and then 10 minutes later he gets caught with a rent boy. Right? It makes people sick. It's like brazen hypocrisy. And the walk, because it is like a religion, it's like being in a cult. They do it on every single topic I can think of, even Middlesbrough. So do you know what I mean? All them big things there I just mentioned, like that broad umbrella, they're all, 10, 15 political talking points that have been very common in the last few decades. But even if I pull some topic out my arse because I'm just chattering away on my Twitter page, even if I could be talking about He-Man or Pokemon and they'd somehow be hypocritical. There'd be people in the chat going, oh my God, I can't believe you're talking about Pokemon. And then you click on the page and it's like they run a Pokemon website or a Pokemon fan site or something. Like, they've almost got a gift for it. Like a gift, a genuine talent for hypocrisy that normal blokes like me, we can't match it. And the reason I'm ranting about it is because the borough, as anybody who's ever been knows, is a famous shithole. When it suited the left and they were having a pop at like Thatcher or Cameron or Boris Johnson or anybody else. When it suits them, they go, oh, Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough's one of those famously left behind towns. Because we're in the news all the time. Every week there's a story. You know, chicken blowtorched on upside down shopping trolley in Middlesbrough Alley. Every week there's a story. They love tearing us down. And then the rare occasion arrives where I turn up to say something negative about my hometown. And then they come out as like stalwart defenders. And then you've got blokes on my stream telling a bloke who was born and raised there, oh, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with Middlesbrough. I was like, hang on, you've spent the last 40 years using scruffy northern towns like the borough as like a stick to beat your political opponents with. And then the second somebody on the right says, yeah, Middlesbrough's shit, they're full of foreigners. They go, oh, I call bullshit, man. The amount of lefty wankers, I'm going to scroll through my page, I'm just looking for it. The amount of lefty wankers who are having a go when I pointed out the obvious fact that Middlesbrough is a proper foreign enclave and everybody there is from the third world. The amount of, literally hundreds of them turned up on my page because one of the posts was quite, viral. It got a few thousand shares and what have you. And all these people are just bombarding me with abuse, saying, oh, what are you talking about? Middlesbrough's sound. I was like, it's genuinely unbelievable. One of them was a Geordie as well. I said, here it is, I found it. Look at this one. So the post I put up here was, I'm making it a bit bigger so you can read and that. Let's have a look. Yeah, here, have a read of this. So I put, back in Borough, it's 90% foreign and the once famously good nightlife is non-existent. 3 decades of treacherous vermin in Parliament have ruined Britain and decimated my hometown. Right, first of all, look at this guy. Paul Hammond, look at the clip of this bloke here. Right? Proper cue ball. Cue ball with Uncle Fester with NHS gigs on. He looks, what, 60? At least. And he said, it's unbelievable. Nightlife has moved in and you're probably too old to appreciate that. I said, sorry, as a chinless, baldy, geggy boomer just called a physically fit Gen Xer old. I mean, that's unbelievable, isn't it? I'm probably too old to appreciate it. Like, am I on drugs? Am I on drugs? This bloke's calling me old. Grandpa, he could be my grandpa. Like, definitely, he's at least 20 years older than me. Well, more like me dad, I suppose. Shit, I'm getting old. But it could be my granddad. It could be 80, and I'm flattering him. It's unbelievable. Anyway, who else is here? Oh, Stu, sorry. I'm absolutely stunningly handsome, me, mate. Yeah, as I said, by the chat I get, I think everyone watching me is a cover model. At least there's no bull ring in your nose. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad then, am I? So yeah, that is unbelievable, the stuff they come out with. So let's go back to the chat, what I was on about. Despot said, I dread seeing what Belfast looks like when I head back. Dublin's already a migrant camp. Honestly, so yeah, that got 3.7 thousand likes. Just loads of people having a pop, saying it's bollocks. Some Geordie piping up like, oh, it's nonsense. I was like, what are you talking about? Don't tell me you're a Geordie and you're going to say with a straight face that you've never drove up Linthorpe Road and it looks like this. And all these shops like this, look, I thought this was a joke when I saw it. Packies at ease, right? They were all like bars and pubs and that. Like my brother, I'm not making this up, my brother got married. He got engaged and he had a big party in a boozer that everyone from Borough knows over the road from Albert Park called In Off the Park. And In Off the Park, I'm not making this up, In Off the Park's gone and it's now called Africa Food Company. And there's like a giant sign above it that says Africa Food Company and there's like a silhouette of the continent of Africa. That perfectly illustrates what I'm talking about. Like the pubs have gone and they've been replaced with Africa Food Co. And can I even say that without getting banned on YouTube? It's outrageous, and everyone's just saying it's happening everywhere, every town. Detain, deport, disinfect. I like that one. The Borough was a banging night out back in the day. It was. It was really, really good. Like, the 1990s in the Borough was mint. Really good night out. Tall Treason Yarn was 15 quid all you could drink in 2004. Yeah, and I remember in the 90s, late 90s, I used to go to a club called the Arena, and it was a £5 in all you can drink. And it was packed to the rafters every Monday. That was Monday night because it was relatively quiet before they started doing that. The nightlife was famously good in Borough. And now it's look, 83% white British, you lying racist. 5 likes. Lying. Hang on, where are you from? Ilmatic, where's he from? Westbrook. Oh, he's a Brummie. So he's a Brummie, so he's black as a fire back. Who's going to know, me or you? Brummie slash Somalian. It's ludicrous. So anyway, before I'm going to stop ranting about Middlesbrough, but just to confirm what I was asked in the chat there, it was far, far worse than I thought it was going to be. And I'm going to follow it up with something, a point I've made before, which is this, right? So, I'll go big, seeing as I'm not reading too much. Every city and town I went to, sizable town I went to in England, is ruined. It's ruined. Like, there's no sense of community. There's no compassion. There's no banter. Like, everything that made living in England fantastic has gone. Decimated by moving in. How many do we think? How many do we think since Blair? 15, 20 million foreigners? Gotta be. If you throw in the illegals, it's easy 20. The official numbers now are something like 11, aren't they? Born abroad in the UK. But if you throw in the illegals, it'll be 20. There'll be 20 million. And as a result of that, it's not England anymore. It's not the soil. It's not the land. If you just took 80% of people out of Scotland and replaced them with Polish blokes, it wouldn't be Scotland. It'd be Poland. It'll be Poland. The people and the people that are born and raised in a country and steeped in its culture and ways and traditions and language and slang and recipes and music and folklore, they keep that dream alive, and they pass it to their offspring on the grandparents and the parents' knees. And that's what makes a country. And Britain, as we knew it, doesn't exist anymore. And these people are just ludicrously dishonest, to the point where every single one of you who's watching this stream knows what I'm telling you is facts. It's a fact. It's gone. The only places that are nice now are little towns and villages that are ethnically homogenous. And they're still there because obviously they don't integrate and they don't learn the language, and they've no interest in learning the language, and they don't like the food, and they don't like the people. So they only go to places where there's already a foothold, an enclave, like Bradistan. So they still exist. And this is what I think a lot of people don't understand is, I do think, which is, especially since I talked to Mark Collette, I do think that he's correct in that they're not going to allow it to get to the point where you're going to have like full-scale, wide mass disorder and some form of civil war. But what you're going to have is the total balkanization of a nation that was happy and healthy and had a wonderful sense of community. You look back in England in the early 1990s, and it was fantastic. I look back at all that we've lost, and I remember all those nights out I had as a teenager, and you know, it makes your heart ache for that. Like the evil globalist sociopaths have stole it from us, and I don't think you'll ever get it back. I don't think they'll ever let it get bad enough, because the powerful, by definition, have all the power. I don't think they'll ever let it get bad enough where enough of the normies will wake up. So I think what we're going to have is total balkanization, and I don't think it's going to be so bad that the normies will wake up and fight back against it. You know what I mean? If it was every single time your granny left her house, she got mugged, then the people would rise up like they did in, the novelisation of Starship Troopers. But I think the cunning, manipulative sociopaths who rule the world, I think they're going to make it this way on purpose. So when you get like enough of the population getting really pissed like they are now, they'll take some measures to mitigate it. I think what you're going to get is just balkanization. So like, it'll continue to exist as a country, but it's going to be totally separated. Like, you're going to have areas like Bradalabad. I mean, it's already happening now. Birmingham. Birmingham is a third world enclave. Leicester. Brawling in the streets between Indians and Pakistanis and Bangladeshis and Sikhs and Hindus and snack bar regulars. That's what you're going to get. And the worse it gets, the more white people are going to move. If you haven't downsized, I'm genuinely astounded, by the way. If you're living in like a big city like Birmingham or Manchalabad, and you're lucky enough to have like a 3-bedroomed house, I would move heaven and earth and live in a box to get away from it. Because doesn't your wives and children's safety come first? If I was living in like, honestly, location, I'd go on Google, find out what the smallest, low crime, ethnically homogenous town is within 200 miles of where I live. And I'd sell my house for whatever I could get for it, which won't be much if you live in Bradalabad and 9 out of 10 of your neighbours support Al Qaeda, right? But I'd sell and I'd buy whatever I could. And if I had to go from a 3-bedroom semi to a 1-bedroom bungalow in a leafy little village in the North Yorkshire Moors, I'd do it. And if you want to be happy, I suggest you do the same thing. Balkanization's coming. It's already come to the big city. Oh yeah, well that's a great example. That's what I'm talking about there. Borough of Great Ayton. Ayton was super nice. I did a really good, like a 17-mile hike across the North Yorkshire Moors. When I was, in fact, I wanted to check if that was on Instagram because my mate told me it was, and I don't really go on Instagram. I'm gonna have to have a look. Called the Brass Monkey. It's like, I think some posh bloke set it up. Bratisserie, yeah, it is, beer boutique. I think some posh bloke set it up and he's put it in 3 little nice towns on the North Yorkshire Moors: Stokesley, Great Ayton, and Gisborough. Saltburn, Stokesley, and Gisborough. And it was super nice. Like when we went in there, in those little towns, Gisborough's fine, but Middlesbrough, balkanised, like genuinely horrible. Totally foreign. As I said, I'm not exaggerating, 90% of the whole town of Middlesbrough in the town centre, foreign. So if you've got an house in somewhere like the Borough town centre, sell it and move to the sticks. And if you have to downsize, do it. If you're unlucky enough that you've got out and they're on the bones and you're on the bones of your ass, I don't know what my advice would be. But if you're renting and you're in a 2-bedroom place, rent a tiny 1-bedroom bedsit in Stokesley or Gisborough. Get out of there is my advice, because Scott Adams gave this advice and everyone was taking the piss out of him and having a go. And what happened was, is a bloke like Scott Adams, a multi-millionaire, a creative genius, he's a clever man who's wrote all these great books and he knows what he's talking about. Is he going to be right or is he going to be wrong? Like, this is what I told you. You don't have to be a genius. The whole reason I was right on the money all the way through the entire COVID pandemic was because I was reading Peter Hitchens' column in the Mail, and I was parroting everything he said, because everything he said made way more sense than all the other shit that people were saying. You don't have to be a genius, but even if you've got an average IQ, if you're streetwise, you've at least got the common sense to listen to what other clever people are saying. Sorry, if you're not clever yourself. Other people, listen to clever people. And when people like that say things that the masses tell you are bollocks, see through it and take their advice. Because honestly, you're a psychopath if you're still living somewhere like Bradford now. You're a maniac. Got a super chat there. Jamie Jameson, cheers, mate. Thanks for the 8th centre. Nicole Cusco, anyone. Matty, Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm assuming that was, yeah. Kukescu's right, wasn't he? Basically, clever people know what's what. And if you're still living in anywhere that is overtly dusky, my advice is for you to move. And again, I'm not saying they're all bad. Again, I'm not a full blown ethnat. I've had this argument with loads of people in the chat lately. Like, I'm still all about 90s nationalism. I'm still all about basically what I told Zach today. Did you see what I told Zach today? I think it's a good plan. Where is it? Let me find it. Yeah, this knobhead. Total moron, this fella. Zach Polanski. The question is whether political leaders are brave enough to speak the truth. Immigration is good for the country, and that we have a clear moral responsibility to protect those failed by global injustice and political neglect. Political neglect is what the political class has done to the white working class for the last 30 years. You know it, I know it, you've all seen the data, I've showed you the statistics. The poorest people in the UK are the white working classes, and they are neglected entirely. And if you're on free school dinners in the UK, you're one of the poorest people in the country. And if you're on free school dinners and you're white, you're not going to university. But if you're on free school dinners and you're black, 50% of them go to university. So it is overt hatred for the white working classes in the UK by the political establishment. Anybody who argues with you about it, give them that statistic. You've all read it. You're all sick of seeing it. That's a fact. 4% of white kids on free school meals go to university. 50% of black kids do. So this neglect is entirely against you. And this oxygen thief, this lying, self-serving, four-flushing, scum-sucking sack of rats is telling you the exact opposite of the truth. And that's what I said. It's bankrupted us. Check the data. 10 million migrants contribute nothing. Nothing. All they do is take. If you're a white guy, everyone knows this. Again, it's not I didn't pay very much in tax. Because I was a bootneck, which is you're on the public tit. I worked for a steel erection firm. And basically, if you're not making more than about 40 grand a year, you're not really paying any tax, are you? Because if you think of what you take from the system, it'll break even. If you're making 30 grand a year, you're probably paying about 100 quid tax a year. So the white, poor, working class people don't pay any tax. So don't tell me that the 15 million scrubbers with no education are contributing. They literally cost you millions. You've all seen the numbers. Somalians are the worst, aren't they? Pakistanis, Afghans, Bangladeshis, Algerians, Moroccans, they're not paying into the system. Even Poles aren't. Hard-working lads. But if you're working on a building site as a labourer, you're not paying any tax. You're taking out as much as you get, especially if you've got kids going to school. Zach P, they're all for immigration, except, yeah, well, exactly. And again, that whole back and forth between Finkeltwat and Connor, who, as I've said to you lot, I'm not a massive fan of. I don't dislike the guy, obviously, but he's a bit boring and he's a little bit camp. He doesn't really crack any funnies. And sometimes he's been a bit emotional. I don't like it. So I'm not a massive fan of him, but he is clever and he's a good writer. And he wiped the floor with Finkeltwat. Again, because glaring hypocrisy, staggering mind-melting hypocrisy is repellent to normal people. And what he was saying was staggeringly, ludicrously, obviously, overtly hypocritical. Like, white working class English lads can't have a country of their own, but Israel can. Well, why? Why? I don't care if they have their own country. You know what my feelings are. I'm very good to ask on this subject, right? Because I'm entirely on the fence. Born and raised 20 generations in northeast England. Never ever met a Jew. Never met one till I was about, I don't know, in my 30s. I think the first time I ever met one was like going up with a bird in Manchester or something. Like, never met one. So I don't care. I don't care what they do. I think if it's an ancient feud that's never going to get settled, they should just fight. Like with Israel-Palestine, I'm pro-war. I think they're never going to fix it. It's been a pain up the arse for millennia. Just have a fight. War. Total war until one side wipes the other out. I don't care. I haven't got a dog in the hunt. Don't care what yous do, lads. But don't tell me, you little hypocritical weasel, that they can have an ethno-state and Europeans can't. If they're allowed one, and the Pakistanis are allowed one, and the Nigerians are allowed one, well then the French and the Norwegian and the Scottish are allowed one, aren't they? Or is that, what is that? Is there no logic there? Am I just crazy? Have I got off the bus in Crazy Town? Is what I've just said in that last 3-minute rant? Is that weird? Or is it perfectly rational? So you don't have to be a supreme orator or a philosopher. Just have to like look at something as simplistic as that and go, oh yeah, we're being lied to by hypocritical shitbags. Hang on, let me drink some of this tea, it's going cold. Good one. It's a good one, an old one, but a goodie. Bite into a curly wurly and miss it. Yeah, have you seen a clip of his teeth? You could fit a £2 coin between his two front teeth. Sloth. Thanks for that, Stu. And Joe Newell said, what do you think about northern autonomy, like what Scotland's got, but for Northumbria? Not the Northern Independence Party, they're all commies. Again, it won't work, will it? It won't. As much as I'd love to say I like the idea, because we've been shit on by the Southerners for so long, it's not the fault of the people of the South, is it? It's like the weasels in the political class. And we have got representation. It's just by weasels in the political class. You know, you've got... I mean, look at the Geordie representative. It's that Chuka Onuma or whatever, isn't it? Geordie's getting represented by a Nigerian communist. Like, so what would be the point? What would be the point of Northern autonomy? Because if you got it, who's it going to be full of? Oh, we've got the Northern Parliament. Nigerian Geordie. So is there any point? Is there any point? And I've slagged off the Scottish and the Welsh for the stupidity of devolution. It was a terrible idea. It's ruptured the bonds of brotherhood between the nations. So I don't want more independence between English people or even British people. I want more of it, not less. More bonding rather than more independence. So I don't support the idea. They'd only fill it with communists. Have you seen how Mackems and Geordies vote, Joe? Have you seen? If we got Northern autonomy, they'd all be communists anyway. So there's no point, is there? Northern autonomy. If we made York the capital and just said North Yorkshire is like its own... North Yorkshire and Northumbria is the northern province. Who are they going to have? Luke from York leading it? And Chuka Onuma? And whatever shit for brains communists the Mackems voted. Like, I just don't see the point. And as I said, devolution was a bad idea that I've never supported. So, yeah, I don't think we should bifurcate anymore. I don't think there's any need to. What's a curly whirly? Well, Sadwings, I think the best way for me to demonstrate would be to show you a curly whirly ad while I drink some tea. Curly whirly ad. Here we are. Curly whirly advert. YouTube. Oh, nice one. Is that Benny Hill? Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was Benny Hill there. I was like, whoa, that'd be good, wouldn't it? I wonder if my sounds are working. I don't even know. Here it is. I'll share it with you so you can have a look. Here's a curly wurly sad wings.
Hey, Mr. Museum Man, how old and how much is that vase?
It's 1,000 years old and worth £10,000.
Ha-ha, this curly whirly with all its marks of chewy toffee covered in creamy Cadbury's chocolate is 10 minutes old, only costs 3p.
If you've got teeth
Of course
like
you can't.
Zach Polanski, you can bite that and you won't hit any chocolate.
Thick flowers in it. Ha-ha, but you can't chew a vase.
That answers that question, fella.
Cadbury's... Hey, Mr. Museum Man, how old and how much is that vase?
It's 1,000 years old and worth £10,000.
Ha-ha, this curly whirly with all its marks...
Here, that's a curly wurly. 3p for a curly wurly. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Simon's never heard that one before. Yeah, bite the curly wurly, won't hit any chocolate. Curly wurly in the fridge is lethal. Yeah, absolutely rockers, aren't they? Not getting through that one. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I think about Northern independence. It's a daft idea. You've seen how they vote in Newcastle and Sunderland and the like. The love of commie up there. Because they got brainwashed by... Like in Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough was a Labour stronghold for years, wasn't it? Because they got brainwashed by generations of the forebears who said, I'll never, ever, 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 ever vote Conservative because Thatcher closed their minds. Even though, again, that's a complicated one because we were absolutely skint. So what else were we going to do? Just keep throwing hundreds of millions of our taxpayers' money at the miners? Like, maybe that would be the right thing to do. I don't know. Better idea than bringing in... Because this is the irony, isn't it? That immigration is completely bankrupting us. And we said things like, oh, we can't just... What are we going to do? Just keep throwing money? Because again, you know me. I was a Thatcherite, you know, back in the day. I know the numbers. I like politics. I do the reading. When they said, oh, Thatcher, why did she nationalise the rail? I always told people, I was like, listen, again, I'm trying to be in the centre of everything and make an educated guess on what was the right decision. And in politics, it's hard because if you're sensible, you know that you can't please everyone. So you have to pick a course of action. And Thatcher, rightly or wrongly, was decisive. But with regards to the trains, for example, because I used to love going to the National Railway Museum, the trains were losing us like £2 billion a year or something. So basically, the only option when we were skint was to nationalise the railways, like we didn't have any money. And what makes me laugh is all them arguments have gone now because of mass migration. Because when I used to say to people, think about it though, if it's costing us $2 billion a year, actually got to nationalise the rail. Now I go, hang on, immigration costs us $50 billion a year, and we just keep doing it. So it made me think, so everything was a lie, really. They could have afforded to just keep the trains private. They could have afforded to just, like, keep giving the coal miners £1 billion a year and keep all the collieries open and let them all keep the jobs. Like, now, up is down and left is right. And you know what I'm telling you is true, because look at Hollywood. Hollywood was like, they've known for the last 5 years what the public want. They like the Avengers. They didn't like black disabled lesbian Hawkeye or whatever it is they do now. But they did it anyway. And I think this dawned on me a couple of years back, and I told you lot this, like, clearly, because they're in a cult and it's like a religion, you know, super pious religious people just throw all the money at the church, right? They're not motivated by money. They're motivated by piety and faith. So we're dealing with a toxic cult, a religion. They don't care about money. They don't care about money. They knew for a fact that the Captain Marvel movie with the Indian and the black woman, they know that's going to lose money. They knew Snow White was going to lose money. They knew the Star Wars, the last two was, and all the last, 4 or 5 woke Marvel films, they knew they were all going to lose money, but they keep making them because true believers don't care about money. And that's just made me think we were lied to, weren't we? Like when I was saying, oh, it was a hard decision, but I can understand why Thatcher did what she did because, you know, they were losing us £1 billion a year. £1 billion a year? We're losing 50 billion a year now. We just bring in dusky illegals and they just cost us hundreds of thousands each of them every single year. I told you when I lived in Nottingham, I had a black neighbour, foreign, don't know where he was from, but he lived under me. I was in a scruffy one-bedroom flat because, you know, I live within my means and I was on my own there. And he never worked a day in his life. He had a Mercedes, wasn't brand new, I'm not going to say they'd given him, he had like a 10-year-old Mercedes. So he drove, car was parked on the street, and he had a little 2-bedroomed house or whatever it was, I was above it. And he never worked a day in his life. I was there a year, never, ever, ever did a day's work. And that's the majority of the low IQ, zero skills, no motivation, no education, chances that come over the country. It's literally 9 out of 10 of them. We're not importing doctors and surgeons and engineers. Polanski and that lying, who was that lying little toad who said they're all women and babies? Who was that? In fact, I bet you if I type in on Twitter, women and babies, boats, I bet you it comes straight up because so many people are outraged about it. Yeah, Darren Jones, there you go. It's unbelievable. Let's see what Jim Davis said about him.
Darren Jones, talking about illegal immigration. Did you see it? What a wanker. He's on the show. He was on with Zia Yusuf, who's back now with Reform doing something else. He's doing Doge, whatever a Doge is. Sounds like a dance, doesn't it? And so there he was. He was saying that all the figures show that the people coming across the channel in the boats most of the people are children, babies, and women. Well, have you ever seen a country of children, babies, and women with fucking moustaches, long hair, and stubble? What? But what? How can you be that stupid and get a job as a minister? You watch a film full of people coming in on dinghies, all fighting age fucking people. Oh, they're all women and children. You know, even Question Time audience, which is normally made up of leftists, they all fucking booed and laughed when he said it. But how is he still in a job, Keir Starbuck? Well, the guy
should have ended his job, should have ended his career. But the thing Jim's wrong about there, right, is he said, how can you be that stupid? How can you be that stupid? He's not stupid. Well, he's a midwit. The midwit. He's a liar, is what he is, Jim. He's a liar. Every single one of us has seen what the boats look like. Darren Jones wasn't stupid. He's a liar. He's a liar. All you need to do is type in on like Google boat migrants UK, and what do you get? Like every single image. I just typed in boat migrants UK. That's what you get. That hairy-arsed geezers. This, not a single baby. I don't think I've ever seen a baby. Darren Jones is like, they're women and babies. And wait, let's count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I count 17 hairy-arsed men, not a single woman, and not a single baby. And that's who's coming over. So he's not stupid. He's just a fucking liar. Easy, innit? And again, can we please keep using that term? Liar. Because I'm sick of this. Liar. Oh, look, this is a relatively new story as well. I'm sick of people saying, you lot, stop doing it. Stop using their language. A lot of people, Sargon does it. Lawrence Fox, everyone does it. They use their language. Don't do it. Don't say misinformation. Misinformation. Say fucking liar. You're a liar. You should spit the word at people like Jonesy. Mr. Jones, why are you a fucking liar? Why do they always do it? All of them. Lotus Eaters do it. Oh, misinformation. It's not misinformation. That's using their shit new dictionary where they're trying to weasel the way to everything, weasel little words into it. They're not spreading disinformation. They're fucking liars. You're a liar, a dirty, lying, scum-sucking, four-flushing sack of rats. A filthy liar who lies while women and children are getting dinked by dinghy divers. You're a liar. So call them that. Do me a favour. Anyway, that's good news, eh? 500,000. 50,000. So this was in August. So what we're going to be at now, about 70,000. How can you just take in 70,000 unvetted fighting age men after all these surprise sex incidents and murders? And I mean, do you want me to just throw some up? I get so many emails now, I don't even need to try. I'll just open my inbox here and I'll be able to bombard you with stories about it. I'll be able to bombard you with it. Here's one. Just clicked it. Let's wait for it to load. Albo can stay in the UK because his girlfriend can't speak his language. Unjustifiably harsh. What are you talking about? What do you mean? I'm already signed up. They've just deported a white guy from Australia because he was right-wing on the internet. And then there was stories about like full-blown diddlers, and they just get let off, don't they? It's fine for them because there's a war going on being waged against the white working classes by insane, deranged, woke, bought and paid, treacherous, treasonous dogs who want to turn the country into a multi-culty shit pit, and they don't care how many women and children get murdered, surprise sexed, or beaten up, or robbed, and that's the way of it. I get bombarded with it. Look, here's another one. Women sexually assaulted in horror as cops release CCTV footage in hunt for a hooded man. Hooded man. What do you think he looks like? Do you think he's a ginger? You think he's as pasty as me? No, he isn't. He's a foreigner. It's every single day. And what are the government doing about it? Oh yeah, letting in 70,000 unvetted fighting age men from the third world. It's unbelievable. Ireland is totally knackered as well, which is how you know it's a global problem. It's unbelievable. It's on purpose. So it's kind of, like I said, I'm going around in circles. You have to keep your sense of humour, and you just have to do what I do and spend your days taking the piss out of snakes like Jones and the albino jellyfish and the androgynous android and every single other one of them because they're absolute vermin. And just keep taking the piss out of them because it's not like it's now worth just discussing, which is why I don't understand why more people haven't got a comedy channel as opposed to just like reading you these stories, because it's not up for debate anymore, is it? It's not even interesting. It's not like we still need to win the argument that they're purposely replacing us with violent, unvetted men. This isn't a discussion we need to have anymore. We already know what's happening. And we know why it's happening. It's because they want to turn your country into a shithole so you'll be miserable, depressed and medicated. And that's it. It's all part of their evil plan. They want a balkanised United Kingdom as long as there's an ethno-state for their special friends like Lord Finkel twat. So that's where we are. We don't need to talk about this anymore. Every day this stuff. Like I said, I could do this for 10 hours and I wouldn't run out of story about women and kids and robbery and surprise sex. It's unending every single day. Look, I can just do it all day long. Cheshire Police, who sent me this? 2 men charged with a Winsford diddling. What are they called? Another horrific attack. What are they called? Oh yeah, it's DR Upper and Dilgash. Dilgash. What type of name is that? Dilgash. So there you go. It is unending. There's no shortage of this. And people who are just making trash content, especially all these AI guys now, that's all they do. They just look for like 1 or 2 stories and then they just read them out with AI and they go, like, nice one, I'm making some content. It's boring just doing it now because you'll never run out. Every single day in a country with 15 million third world men, every single day this happens and you'll never ever run out. Every hour there'll be a new story. I could make a video every hour if I'm just going to read you stories. Hertfordshire man sentenced for Surprise sex. Oh, there we go. Hertfordshire, man. Yeah, mega Hertfordshire, him, innit? Mega Hertfordshire. So do you see what I'm telling you? Boring talking about it. Boring. We know what's happened. We know what the game is. It's the globalist sociopaths versus the freedom-loving people of the West. It's not the UK versus the EU versus the USA. Because globalist sociopaths like Hillary, Icy Heart, Vile Harpy Clinton, and Bill, and Biden, and Obama are all in the same page. This is the thing people don't understand. It's not about like USA or EU versus anyone. It's freedom-loving people, the freedom-loving people of the West, regardless of nationality. May my tongue turn black, I'll even praise the French, right? There are tens of millions of decent French people who want to live in a free, just, Western society. It's not about nations or groups or countries. It's about globo homo versus freedom-loving man of the West. That's it. And evil globalist sociopaths versus normal people. Look up Shashank Castu. Oh, God. Go on, then. Seeing as super chat, I've got to have a look, haven't I? Shashank Kasturi. Let's have a look. Night in an evening. Well done, Shashank. This would be, you know, these young women would have had a much better weekend if Shashank merely indulged in a Sherman tank, if you get what I'm saying, a Tommy tank. Shashank needs to crank it, and then this wouldn't be a problem. A 22-year-old man has been charged over 9 sex assaults across a single evening in Edinburgh. Shashank is accused of a series of attacks on women in the city's Stockbridge on the 12th of December. Made no plea. Remanded in custody. So, again, every single hour of every single day, hundreds of English women and children are violated, robbed. Even, I mean, we're talking about the big ones. Even petty crime. Just like beating them up, spitting in the face. I read one about an Irish bird. Did you read about the Irish bird? Where a bloke was pulling himself off and he jizzed on a leg. Did anybody read about that one? Shall I have a quick look for that? Because that one made me laugh. Irish, what was it? Irish bus assault. Let's have a look. No, look, a Dublin bus driver beaten by a Romanian. I mean, it'll never end, will it? Female bus driver shot with an air gun. Romanian beats up. There, look, everyone. Anyway, I can't find it. But you'll just have to settle for Ionut Biraz beating up a bus driver with an iron bar. I mean, minor thing. So this one about it. The big ones like the surprise sex incidents and the full blown machete knickers off in an alley type stuff. That usually makes at least a headline in a major paper. But just involve the petty stuff like this. Romanian battering a bloke senseless with an iron bar. Every single hour of every single day, hundreds of people in Western Europe are violated and have their lives ruined, or at least a week ruined, right? Not going to ruin your life if you get mugged. I'm not going to be a pussy about it. Not going to ruin your life. Like if you get gangbanged by 20 Somalians above a greasy kebab shop, that'll ruin your life. You'll never get over it. It'll never be normal. You'll get over getting mugged, but you'll have a shit week. You'll have a shit week. So every hour of every day, thousands of Western Europeans get violated and have their weeks ruined, or possibly their lives. And it's a choice. It's a choice because they're letting them in on purpose because they don't care, because they're bought and paid and it's all part of an evil plan. And then Trumpy Bear comes in and shows you what you can do, which is smash the borders in. Took him a week. Didn't even need to do anything, which proves it was a choice. He didn't do anything. He didn't build any extra wall. He didn't move any tanks down there. He just took over and went, oh yeah, close the border, lads. Border's closed. He didn't do shit. So it's almost like I'm slagging him off there. He didn't do anything, did he? It's a choice. Every boat that lands in the UK is a choice. It's a piece of piss to stop boats landing in the UK. We've got a navy. Yes, it's a bit small and shit, but it's a navy. It's better than a dinghy. We've got a few thousand bootnecks who would love to commando roll across the deck, leap onto a dinghy, and then stick a flying headbutt into the face of the people trafficker that's running it, steering the bastard thing. It's a choice. They hate us. It's a choice. So if we ever manage to win, pull them across the coals, try them for treason, fire up old Sparky, get the beers out, and it's party time. Because it's on purpose. Ignorance is no excuse. Like I said, disagreeing with Jim. He's not stupid, Jonesy. He's a liar. Ignorance is no excuse. Keir Starmer is a traitor. Definitely. Boris Johnson, David Cameron. I'm a bipartisan. I'm doing a bipartisan Robespierre, right? All of them. Traitors. Fire up old Sparky. There are a lot of them. Doesn't matter. Cleggy, Salmond, Sturgeon, Johnson, Cameron, Blair, Starmer. There you go. There's like 4 separate parties. I'm not a partisan. But what they've done is made a choice, a conscious choice, to betray their own people, throw millions, because we'll be up to millions. We're up to millions. If the minimum rational guess for women that have been groomed and tortured and surprise sexed is 250,000, it'll be at least 500,000, because most crimes go unreported. And then if you throw in all the petty crimes, the iron bar wrapped around your head, the muggins, and the jizzing on your ankles while you're trying to ride the bus, right? It's going to be millions. So millions and millions of British people have had their lives ruined or the week ruined on purpose because of Blair, Starmer, and Johnson and Cameron. So if that's not treason and treachery warranting a court case and manacles, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. If I was in charge, old Sparky would be fired up so frequently, we'd have rolling blackouts. You know, like, oh, you get blackouts when it's the half time at the World Cup and they turn all the kettles on. If I was in charge, the old Sparky would be, like I said, I need to invent new technology. I need to, like, get Elon to come up with some form of, like, German drinking hall, 500-seater electrified bench to get rid of the people that need to be done for treason. It'd be never ending. So they'd be like, you'd be sat trying to watch this at home and your lights would be flickering and the TV would be sputtering out because these people would be getting the knackers toasted. Anyway, 55 minutes, is that right? You can have that for now. I'm going to go. I've been away. I literally walked in the house like 20 minutes ago. It's Baltic. There's no heating on. And I need to unpack a load of bags and do about 4 hours admin. And then I need to go to the gym. So I'm going to do that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me. They've been killing my numbers lately. I've actually lost subs now. Like, I took 2 weeks off and I've lost 200 subs. That's just what they do. So please, if you can be asked, share it, like it, send it to a pensioner that is also borderline racist. Anyone who you think will enjoy my content. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all of the support. Thanks to the nice fella who came up to me when I was in a pub in York with my brother and my sister-in-law and said, "Are you from Middlesbrough?" Like as if he sees my face, but he needed to confirm it. And I said, "Yeah." And he went, "Are you the angry Bootneck?" And I went, "Yeah." And he went, "Oh, can I get a photo with you?" I was like, bit weird, because I've never done that before. Thanks to him, and thanks to everyone who supports the channel. I do appreciate it. I am going to stubbornly keep going until they send the SWAT team round, or Starmer hires an assassin to shoot me in the head while I'm out jogging. I'm going to keep going. By hook or by crook, I'll get to 100,000 subs this year. I don't care how many videos I have to make or how much effort I need to put into. I'm the most stubborn man in the world. Don't care if they demonetize the channel. I don't care. They would have to kill me to make me stop doing this. So, that's what's happening. Thanks for all the support. I'm still here. I'm back in business. And let's get to it. I want to hit 100,000. I want to drag my 100,000 sub plaque out of their cold, dead hands. And then I want to take it to Susan's grave and sort of spike it in there, drive it deep, like Sharp does when he pinches that eagle for Major Miller or whatever he's called, and spike it deep into Susan's, what remains of her icy black heart, and say, I got to 100,000 subs despite all of your evil machinations, you fucking harpy. All right? That's what I want to do. That's my New Year's resolution. Spike it, drive it deep. That's what we're going to do. All right? Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gents. I'll see you all very soon. Content will resume tomorrow. All right? Toodle pip. Cheers. Have a good one.